Everyone, happy Monday. Welcome to the latest edition of Bobcast. Appreciate you tuning in and getting on tonight. We're going to jump right into it. And tonight's episode is titled, Stop Fearing Success. Might sound like a crazy title to some of you, but I promise you we're going to get into this and I'm going to explain it so you can understand it real well. Hi, Phil. We talk a lot about fear. I've talked a lot about fear. Asking what you're afraid of, and a lot of times people are afraid. I call that people are afraid of failing, of being ridiculed, of losing if it's a game, whatever it might be. But I'm here to tell you that just as big a hurdle. Hi, Jackie. How are you, Chris? Excuse me. Just as big a hurdle, possibly even bigger hurdle, is a fear of success. It's what holds most people back. It holds people back from, hi Hank, it holds people back from making a big change in their life, whether it's a move, or whether it's starting a business or a side hustle, or asking for a promotion, or leaving a job to take a different job, or whatever it might be that you can think of. And what holds most people back, believe it or not, is the fear of success. Willie, how are you? So when I talk about the fear of success, I know it sounds odd to people, but let me ask you, do you fear success? Have you ever even considered it? Fear of success comes into play when you're unable to visualize what your life's going to look like when you do succeed. What would a relationship with that awesome man or woman look like to you if you've had nothing but bad ones? What would my life look like if I made a lot more money? Or what would my life look like once I get that degree? Or if I started my own business? There's a couple of guys on here that have their own business. What would my life look like if I made more money, if I took a better job? Would I have to move? Would I have to, would I move into a different house? Would I have different neighbors? What kind of car would I want? Would people treat me differently? Would I have to find new friends? And the biggest thing is, what would it feel like? What would it feel like if you started that business and it succeeded? What would that feel like? And that's where most people get stuck, because they don't know. They don't know what it's going to feel like. They can't even imagine. And I'm coming to you from a place of experience here, okay? Because it's one of the things that I struggled with for a long time, was trying to imagine myself in a certain position, or trying to imagine myself having something in particular, or if I tried to imagine myself being around different people. I talked before about a close circle of friends, and how as you try to improve yourself, that circle of friends changes itself naturally. But when we don't know what that stuff looks like, we get afraid. And our brain is made to protect us from danger, even perceived dangers of the unknown, like not knowing what it would feel like, not knowing what your friends would think of you if you decided to start a business, or what your friends would think of you if you decided to quit your job and go to another job, or if you decided you wanted to go live in the mountains. And I'd love that. Live in the mountains in a cabin, or have a nice little farm somewhere off the grid, or whatever it is. You worry about what people would think of you. And so, since you can't figure out what they would think of you or what it would feel like, our brain, again, which is built to protect us from danger, starts to sabotage ourselves. We start to sabotage ourselves by thinking of all the reasons we shouldn't try it. We think of all the negative things. You know, somebody very close to me recently had a big decision to make about a job, change of career, a new job, a promotion. And my suggestion was to sit down and write out the pros and cons on paper in front of yourself. so you can make a logical decision. Because if you leave it up to your brain's going to get scared when you start to get out of that comfort zone, when you start to step out of that box that is our comfort zone. The brain's going to get scared. The brain's going to start to sabotage you and give you all the reasons you should get your ass back in that box. You shouldn't try this because of this, and this. Questions like this run through our mind, even subconsciously. And that's where the sabotage starts, right? Because our brain, again, is programmed to keep us safe. And let's be honest, our comfort zones seem safe, right? There's a saying about what you accept will continue. And I've seen some people be in some situations that just suck, but they stay there because, believe it or not, the known, no matter how bad it is, for some people, is better than the unknown. I knew a girl one time I was trying to help, give advice to. She was being beaten up by her boyfriend repeatedly. And my question was, my goodness, why do you keep going back? And her statement to me was, being with anyone is better than being alone. And I only use that example because that's the mindset that a lot of people, hi Jeff and Mark, that's the mindset that so many people have when it comes to trying new things, when it comes to business ventures or promotions or relationships or whatever it is that they're thinking about stepping out of their comfort zone. They go back into that closed off, safe, quote unquote safe mentality. Clearly in that girl's example, it wasn't safe, but she knew what to expect and she accepted it. And it continued. What are you doing? What is there in your life that you're accepting that keeps continuing? Is it the same old job that you absolutely hate, that you can't barely make ends meet at, but you're comfortable there because you know what to expect? Is it the fact that you need money? Hi, Delbert. Is the fact that you need to make more money, but you're afraid to try anything else in addition to what you're doing? Is it a degree? I went back to school a few years ago. I'm supposed to be finished by December here. I'm under the gun, but did you always want to finish a degree that you didn't finish? I didn't finish mine, 30 years ago. Is that something you want to do? Or is it too scary for you to walk onto a college campus and take a course? What is it in your life that you're missing out on? What opportunities, what experiences, what achievements have you missed because you're afraid of success, because it holds things that you're not sure of? You don't know what to expect. That fear of success is why most people don't succeed. I want you to do me a favor. Take some time if you think about fear of success, if it makes sense to you. Take some time, sit down, and honestly make an honest assessment of your life and think about the times that you passed on an opportunity for whatever it is. You passed up on something that turned out, if you had done it, would have been awesome, but you passed up on it because you were afraid. Again, it's not necessarily a fear of failure. It's a fear of success that holds most people back. I want you to do me a favor too. If you enjoy the content on these Bobcasts that I do occasionally, go check out my podcast. Actually, this was Friday's topic, and I did another topic tonight about how to overcome that fear of success. But check out my podcast. It's called Best Life 101. It's on Anchor FM, the Anchor app. It's also on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Podcast. It's on Google Play Music. It's on about 10 or 12 different platforms. But go to anchor.fm/bestlife101 and you can check out the podcast. If you check it out on Apple, please leave me some feedback. Leave me a rating if you could, if you have a positive rating. It really helps the rankings on podcasts and allows it to be seen more often. It's been seen listened to several thousand times. There's also a spot on there where you can actually support the podcast if you like the content and you want it to continue to keep going on. So consider that if you're a big fan. Thanks, Hank. So jump on that podcast. I normally put the links in my Bob Norman Jr. page and in Best Life 101, and also on my Twitter feed I put a link to my podcast as well. So check it out, give me some feedback, but sit down in the meantime and consider how many things you've missed out on because you were afraid of success. You were afraid of the unknown, the changes that you didn't know were going to happen as a result of that. I got to be honest with you, when I finished this degree, my ND, I don't know what it looks like. It's kind of scary. What will it be like to have a title after my name? What's it going to look like? So we all face it. The key is to overcome those hurdles, and there are a lot of ways to do it. If you need help with that, reach out to me on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever, any way you can, on Messenger, and we'll see if maybe I can possibly help you. If we're fit to work together, I'd be glad to help you change your life. Have a great evening, and I'll see everyone real soon on the next edition of Bobcast.